Hi, warriors, welcome back to the channel of learning philosophy. You work harder every year. Yet money stays out of reach because you were taught comfort instead of control. In the next 12 minutes, I will expose the rules the powerful follow quietly, and if you apply just one, your relationship with money will never be the same. Money does not reward virtue. It does not care about effort, loyalty, or good intentions. It flows towards structure, leverage, and control. Machiavelli understood this long before modern economics. Wealth follows power, not morality. Today, I will reveal the first 12 Machiavellian rules of wealth, principles designed to shift you from participation to dominance. If you stay until the end, you will understand why most people remain poor, not because they lack intelligence, but because they obey invisible rules designed to keep them small. These are not motivational ideas. These are operational laws. Rule number 1, the moral shield. Let us begin with the first illusion that keeps intelligent people poor, the belief that money is a moral test. From childhood, you were trained to associate wealth with virtue or vice. Good people are humble. Rich people are suspicious. Wanting more must be justified. Profit must be explained. Success must apologize. This conditioning was not accidental. It was engineered to slow you down before you ever reach power. Understand this clearly. Money is not a moral system. Money is a tool of coordination and control. It does not reward kindness. It does not punish greed. It simply flows toward those who understand how to move it. When you attach morality to money, you hesitate. And hesitation is the most expensive mistake in strategy. Machiavelli saw this centuries ago. He understood that rulers who tried to appear morally pure while acquiring power were destroyed by those who separated ethics from execution. Morality, when internalized during accumulation, becomes a self-inflicted weakness. It makes you second-guess opportunities. It makes you over-explain your ambition. It makes you seek approval from people who gain nothing from your success. Watch how this plays out in real life. A person hesitates to raise prices because they do not want to seem greedy. Another refuses to negotiate aggressively because they want to be seen as fair. Someone delays scaling their business because they fear judgment from friends and family who are still struggling. Each decision feels virtuous. Each decision quietly transfers power away from them. This is why Machiavellian strategy introduces the moral shield. You do not destroy morality. You weaponize it. You do not remove ethics. You relocate them. Publicly, morality is a shield. It protects your reputation. It keeps allies calm. It disarms critics. It allows you to move within society without triggering resistance. Privately, morality does not dictate your moves. Strategy does. Numbers do. Outcomes do. The mistake most people make is trying to feel morally clean while building wealth. Power does not reward emotional comfort. It rewards clarity. When you are building, your responsibility is not to be liked. It is to be effective. Once power is established, morality becomes governance. Before power, morality becomes restraint. Ask yourself this question honestly. How many opportunities did you delay because you wanted to feel like a good person? How many times did you undercharge, overgive, overwork, or stay silent because you feared being judged? That fear did not protect anyone. It only protected the system that benefits from your hesitation. The moral shield teaches you a ruthless but necessary distinction. Intent is not outcome. Feeling good about a decision does not make it strategic. Many people ruin their financial future while feeling morally superior. Power does not respect intention. It respects results. This does not mean exploitation. This means precision. You can be ethical without being naive. You can be disciplined without being cruel. But you cannot afford to let moral emotion interfere with structural decisions. The market does not care how hard you tried to be fair. It only responds to leverage. When you internalize this rule, something changes immediately. You stop explaining your ambition. You stop seeking permission to win. You stop justifying profit as if it were a crime. You begin to see money as energy that must be directed, not judged. Machiavelli never said abandon ethics. He said understand timing. Morality before power weakens you. Morality after power stabilizes you. The moral shield allows you to move through both worlds without being destroyed by either. Once you separate money from moral identity, your thinking sharpens. Decisions become faster. Negotiations become cleaner. Fear of judgment loses its grip. You realize that most criticism is not about ethics at all. It is about envy disguised as virtue. And the moment you stop apologizing for wanting more, you begin to notice something uncomfortable and liberating. The rules were never moral. They were strategic. Rule number 2, the illusion of hard working. From the moment you were young, you were trained to worship effort. Work hard, stay busy, exhaust yourself, and one day the rewards will arrive. This belief is one of the most effective control mechanisms ever created. Hard work keeps people occupied, obedient, and too tired to question the structure they serve. It makes them feel productive while remaining replaceable. Machiavelli would have recognized this instantly. Effort is visible, power is not. Systems do not reward sweat, they reward position. When you tie your self-worth to how hard you work, you unknowingly trap yourself inside roles that require constant presence. The moment you stop, everything stops. That is not power. That is dependency. Look carefully at who benefits from your effort. Corporations, institutions, and even individuals praise hard workers because hard workers maintain stability. They do not disrupt hierarchies. They do not threaten ownership. They simply keep the machine running. The more irreplaceable you think you are because of effort, the more replaceable you actually become, because effort can always be duplicated. The illusion becomes dangerous when effort is mistaken for progress. Long hours feel like movement, but movement without direction is still stagnation. Many people work relentlessly inside systems that were never designed to reward them beyond survival. They call this dedication. In reality, it is submission disguised as discipline. The strategic mind asks a different question. Not how hard am I working, but where am I positioned? Position determines access. Access determines leverage. Leverage determines income. This is why two people can work equally hard and live radically different lives. One is inside the system. The other is above it. Machiavellian thinking forces a brutal realization. If your value comes from time spent, you are already capped. Time is finite. Energy is finite. Effort has a ceiling. Power does not scale effort. It scales ownership and control. This is why those at the top rarely appear exhausted. They are not carrying weight. They are directing it. When you understand this rule, your relationship with work changes. You become intolerant of tasks that require constant supervision. You begin designing systems that function without your presence. You stop measuring days by how tired you feel and start measuring them by what was positioned, delegated, or automated. The most dangerous workers are not lazy. They are efficient at the wrong level. They perfect execution while ignoring architecture. Machiavelli would never advise you to stop working. He would tell you to stop confusing effort with authority. Hard work is only useful when it builds leverage. Without leverage, it only builds exhaustion. Rule number 3: controlled visibility. Most people believe success comes from being seen as much as possible. Post more, talk more, explain more, prove more. Visibility, they are told, creates opportunity. In reality, uncontrolled visibility destroys leverage. The moment you become constantly accessible, you lose mystery. And the moment mystery disappears, authority weakens. Machiavelli understood that power is amplified by distance. Rulers who appeared everywhere were consumed by expectation. Those who appeared rarely were interpreted as important. Scarcity has always shaped perception more than competence. When people can reach you at any moment, your presence loses weight. Look around. Who do people chase? Not the one who is always available, always replying, always explaining themselves. They chase the one whose time feels limited. Controlled visibility is not hiding, it is strategic appearance. It is choosing when and where to be seen so that every appearance carries significance. The mistake many make is equating attention with influence. Attention is cheap. Influence is rare. Anyone can be visible. Very few can be impactful. The constant broadcaster trains their audience to ignore them. The selective communicator trains their audience to listen. Machiavellian strategy treats visibility like currency. Spend it only when the return is maximized. Disappear during preparation. Let silence do the work of anticipation. When you return, you do not announce your importance. Others assign it to you. This is why the powerful are often misunderstood as distant or cold. Distance is not arrogance. It is insulation. It prevents emotional contamination and limits unnecessary demands. Every interaction drains time, energy, and focus. Those who fail to control visibility become managers of other people's expectations rather than architects of their own trajectory. When you master controlled visibility, negotiations change. People lean in. They fill silence with assumptions that often benefit you. Your words gain weight because they are not constant. Your presence creates pressure because it is not guaranteed. Machiavelli would caution against total disappearance. Invisibility erases relevance. Excessive visibility erodes respect. Power exists between these extremes. You are seen just enough to be remembered and absent enough to be valued. Once you apply this rule, you stop chasing attention and start commanding it. You do not argue for your worth. You let absence and timing communicate it for you. Rule number 4, the loyalty trap. Loyalty is one of the most praised virtues in society, and for that very reason, it is one of the most dangerous when left unquestioned. From an early age, you are taught that loyalty defines character. Stay committed. Stay grateful. Stay where you started. This lesson sounds noble, but Machiavelli would immediately recognize its function. Loyalty keeps structures stable by discouraging movement. It rewards obedience while punishing strategic flexibility. The trap begins when loyalty is treated as a moral obligation instead of a calculated exchange. People stay in unproductive jobs out of loyalty. They protect failing partnerships out of loyalty. They silence their ambition to avoid appearing disloyal. In each case, loyalty is no longer a choice. It becomes a cage. Power never treats loyalty emotionally. It treats it transactionally. The powerful understand that loyalty flows toward benefit, security, and alignment of interest. When those conditions disappear, loyalty dissolves. This is not betrayal. It is realism. Only those without options romanticize permanence. Machiavelli warned that rulers who depend on blind loyalty are fragile. Loyalty that is not reinforced by incentives evaporates under pressure. The same principle applies to your financial and strategic life. If your loyalty is not producing growth, leverage, or protection, it is draining you. Notice how institutions glorify loyalty when it benefits them. Companies praise family culture while replacing workers overnight. Political systems reward loyal followers while consolidating power at the top. Loyalty is encouraged downward, never upward. This asymmetry is intentional. The strategic mind reverses this dynamic. Loyalty becomes conditional. It is offered where interests align and withdrawn when they no longer do. This does not mean you become unstable or unreliable. It means you become deliberate. You choose alliances that expand your influence rather than consume it. Once you escape the loyalty trap, decisions become clearer. You stop confusing gratitude with obligation. You stop mistaking history for destiny. Past sacrifice does not justify future stagnation. Machiavelli would argue that survival belongs to those who adapt alliances as conditions change. When loyalty is no longer automatic, it becomes valuable again. Chosen loyalty is respected. Forced loyalty is exploited. The moment you understand this, you regain control over where your time, energy, and commitment are invested. Those who call this cold often benefit from your obedience. Those who understand it recognize it as self-preservation. Rule No. 5: The debt advantages. Debt terrifies most people because they were taught to associate it with failure, weakness, and irresponsibility. Stay out of debt. Pay everything in cash. Owe no one anything. This advice sounds wise, but it quietly ensures one thing: permanent limitation. Machiavelli would immediately see the deception. Fear of debt is not moral education. It is behavioral control. Debt itself is neutral. It is neither good nor evil. What matters is who controls it and for what purpose. The poor experience debt as pressure because they use it emotionally. They borrow to relieve discomfort, to maintain appearances, to survive. The powerful experience debt as leverage because they use it strategically. They borrow to acquire assets, to expand reach, to compress time. This difference changes everything. Emotional debt demands repayment. Strategic debt generates repayment. One drains future income, the other creates it. The masses are taught only the first model, ensuring they remain cautious while those with knowledge move faster and further. Machiavelli understood that speed is power. Waiting until you have enough cash means surrendering time. Time lost cannot be recovered. Strategic debt allows control over opportunity before competitors can react. This is why empires were built not by saving slowly, but by mobilizing resources decisively. The fear of debt keeps people small because it limits their field of action. They see opportunity and immediately ask, "Can I afford this?" The strategic mind asks a different question. Does this control cash flow, influence, or positioning? If the answer is yes, the risk is calculated, not avoided. Debt becomes dangerous only when it is used to sustain lifestyle rather than build structure. Consumption debt enslaves because it produces nothing. Acquisition debt empowers because it multiplies. This distinction is rarely taught because a population afraid of debt is easy to manage and slow to mobilize. When you understand the debt advantage, your posture changes. You stop being impressed by zero balance and start focusing on asset alignment. You realize that owing money is not the threat. Owing time is. Debt tied to income is manageable. Time spent waiting is irreversible. Machiavelli would never advise reckless borrowing. He would advise intelligent risk under controlled conditions. The goal is not to eliminate debt. The goal is to ensure debt works for you rather than against you. Once this rule is internalized, fear dissolves and calculation takes its place. You no longer ask how much you owe. You ask what that debt controls. Rule number 6, the time arbitrage. Most people believe time passes equally for everyone. Days move forward, years disappear, and somehow the future will work itself out. This belief is comforting and fatal. Machiavelli would reject it immediately. Time is not neutral. It rewards those who understand how to delay gratification and punishes those who demand comfort now. Time arbitrage is the ability to trade short-term pain for long-term dominance. The majority do the opposite. They sacrifice the future to stabilize the present. They avoid discomfort, delay discipline, and choose ease whenever possible. Each small choice feels harmless. Together, they destroy leverage. Look closely at how people manage their early years. They chase pleasure, validation, and ease, believing success can be built later. Meanwhile, the strategic minority accepts obscurity, long preparation, and isolation. They appear slow. In reality, they are compressing decades of advantage into a single phase of life. Machiavelli understood that patience is a weapon when others are impatient. While the masses react emotionally to immediate rewards, the disciplined individual accumulates position quietly. Time compounds differently when discipline is applied early. Skills deepen. Networks strengthen. Authority hardens. The danger lies in misunderstanding sacrifice. Many think sacrifice means suffering endlessly. That is not time arbitrage. True time arbitrage is selective suffering. You endure discomfort only where it multiplies future freedom. You say no to distractions that steal focus. You accept delay in exchange for control. Most people cannot tolerate this because it produces no immediate applause. There is no recognition for preparation. There is no praise for restraint. This is why so few succeed. They confuse silence with failure and noise with progress. When you master time arbitrage, urgency disappears. You stop rushing outcomes. You stop comparing timelines. You understand that being early and being patient is more powerful than being fast and desperate. The impatient exhaust themselves, chasing results that discipline produces naturally. Machiavelli would advise you to structure your life so future versions of you gain advantage from today's discomfort. Comfort now is always borrowed from tomorrow. Discipline now pays interest later. Those who control time control momentum. Those who control momentum dictate outcomes. Rule number 7. The perception economy. Most people believe money follows results. This is one of the most damaging misconceptions in modern society. Machiavelli would dismantle it immediately. Money follows belief first. Results only confirm what perception has already decided. Those who wait for proof before positioning themselves surrender advantage to those who shape the narrative early. We no longer live in an economy of production alone. We live in an economy of perception. Value is assigned before it is measured. Confidence attracts resources. Certainty draws attention. Hesitation repels opportunity. This is why two individuals with equal ability can experience radically different outcomes. One waits to be chosen. The other declares inevitability. Perception does not require deception. It requires framing. The powerful understand that how something is presented determines how it is treated. A product framed as rare is valued differently than one framed as available. A person framed as an authority is trusted before credentials are checked. This is not manipulation. It is human psychology. The majority sabotage themselves by under-positioning. They speak cautiously. They downplay ambition. They wait for validation. In doing so, they train others to see them as optional. Machiavelli warned that appearing unsure invites challenge. Appearing certain discourages resistance. Control of perception begins internally. If you doubt your own trajectory, others will sense it immediately. The world mirrors conviction. This is why clarity is more powerful than talent. Those who communicate direction command attention, even when their execution is still forming. Strategic individuals do not hide until they are perfect. They position themselves while improving. They allow perception to pull resources toward them, accelerating growth. Waiting until results are undeniable means arriving after the opportunity window has closed. This is why narratives matter more than explanations. People do not follow logic. They follow stories that feel coherent and inevitable. When you frame your actions within a larger arc, others assign meaning and value without demanding proof. Machiavelli understood that perception is the battlefield where power is won before conflict begins. Once belief is established, resistance weakens. Resources flow, doors open. Those who master the perception economy stop chasing approval and start directing interpretation. They do not ask to be recognized. They behave as if recognition is already settled. Rule number 8: the skill stack weapon. Most people are taught to specialize narrowly. Choose one skill. Perfect it. Become the best. This advice sounds logical, but Machiavelli would see the flaw immediately. Extreme specialization creates dependence. When your value is tied to a single function, your power is fragile. Remove the function, and you are replaceable. The modern world does not reward isolated mastery. It rewards strategic combinations. A single average skill is common. 2 complementary skills create advantage. 3 create dominance. The power does not come from being the best. It comes from being difficult to substitute. Consider how authority actually forms. The individual who understands communication and systems outperforms the one who only understands execution, the one who combines persuasion, financial awareness, and decision-making controls outcomes even if others work harder. This is not unfair. It is structural. Machiavelli understood that versatility protects power. Rulers who relied on one strength were vulnerable the moment conditions changed. Those who layered abilities adapted faster and survived longer. The same logic governs wealth today. The danger of single skill obsession is that it traps you in service roles. You execute for those who can see the bigger picture. They decide direction. You deliver labor. Skill stacking breaks this hierarchy. It moves you from operator to strategist. When you build a skill stack, you stop competing directly. Competition exists only within narrow categories. Strategic combinations create new categories where comparison disappears. This is how individuals leapfrog entire industries without being the best at any single thing. The process requires humility and patience. You must accept being average while learning multiple disciplines. Most people cannot tolerate this. They prefer the identity of expertise over the reality of power. Machiavelli would remind you that pride is a liability when building leverage. As your skill stack grows, your bargaining position strengthens. You can initiate, execute, communicate, and adjust. You no longer wait for instruction. You become the point of convergence where decisions are made. Those who wield the skill stack weapon are rarely visible at first, but over time they become unavoidable. Rule number 9, the silence strategy. Silence makes most people uncomfortable. They rush to fill it with explanations, opinions, plans, and emotions. This reflex is not accidental, it is trained. Speaking reveals intention. Silence protects it. Machiavelli understood that those who speak too freely surrender leverage without realizing it. Information is power only when it is controlled. The moment you reveal your full thinking, others begin adjusting against it. They anticipate, interfere, or exploit. The majority expose themselves willingly because they confuse openness with honesty and verbosity with confidence. In reality, excessive speech is a signal of insecurity. The silent strategy is not about being secretive for its own sake. It is about pacing information. You reveal outcomes, not process. You communicate decisions, not deliberations. This keeps others reactive rather than predictive. When people cannot read your next move, they hesitate. Hesitation creates advantage. Machiavelli warned that leaders who speak too much become prisoners of their own words. Once a statement is public, it limits future maneuvering. Silence preserves flexibility. It allows adaptation without appearing inconsistent. Observe negotiations. The one who speaks less controls the tempo. The one who rushes to explain concedes ground. Silence forces the other party to reveal more than they intended. It invites them to fill the void, often exposing priorities, fears, and leverage points. Most people fear silence because they want to be understood. Power does not seek understanding, it seeks outcome. Being misunderstood temporarily is preferable to being predictable permanently. The need to clarify is often the need to be liked, and that need is expensive. The silent strategy also protects emotional discipline. Words spoken in reaction cannot be retrieved. Silence creates space for calculation. It allows you to respond rather than react. Machiavelli valued restraint not as virtue, but as survival. When you master silence, your presence changes. People listen more carefully. They attribute depth to your words because there are fewer of them. Your statements carry weight because they are not diluted by constant commentary. Silence is not absence, it is controlled pressure. Those who can endure it hold power over those who cannot. Rule number 10, the risk asymmetry. Most people believe risk is something to be avoided. They are taught to be careful, to protect what little they have, to never gamble their stability. This mindset feels responsible, but Machiavelli would immediately expose the flaw. Avoiding all risk does not create safety. It creates stagnation. The real danger is not risk itself, but risking the wrong things. Risk asymmetry is the difference between gambling and strategy. The masses take symmetrical risks. They risk everything for very little. They risk health for salary, time for approval, dignity for short-term security. When they lose completely. When they win, they barely advance. This imbalance is why effort feels exhausting and progress feels invisible. The powerful operate differently. They design situations where the downside is limited and the upside is disproportionate. If the move fails, the damage is survivable. If it succeeds, the reward alters their position permanently. This is not bravery. It is calculation. Machiavelli understood that rulers who risked survival were reckless, but those who never risked position were weak. Strategic power comes from knowing what can be lost and what must be protected. Your survival, your health, your core stability are never placed on the table. Your surplus, your optionality, your excess capacity are where risk belongs. Most people invert this logic. They protect comfort and risk their future. They avoid embarrassment but tolerate long-term dependence. They fear temporary loss more than permanent limitation. This is why they remain cautious and confined. When you apply risk asymmetry, fear begins to dissolve. You stop asking, "What if this fails?" and start asking, "What happens if this works?" You understand that controlled failure is information, not disaster. Each calculated risk sharpens judgment and expands confidence. Machiavelli would advise you to never expose yourself to annihilation, but to repeatedly expose yourself to controlled uncertainty. This is how power is accumulated without collapse. Each asymmetric risk compounds experience, reputation, and leverage. Those who master this rule do not appear reckless. They appear bold only because others cannot see the safeguards underneath. Their confidence is not emotional, it is structural. Rule no 11, the dependency inversion. Most people spend their lives trying to be useful, be helpful, be reliable, be easy to replace so others feel comfortable around you. This sounds harmless, even admirable, but Machiavelli would identify it as a fatal error. Usefulness without leverage creates dependence in the wrong direction. You depend on the system. The system does not depend on you. Power begins the moment dependency reverses. When others rely on you for outcomes they cannot easily reproduce, negotiation shifts in your favor. Until then, you are tolerated, not respected. The modern world quietly punishes those who make themselves convenient and rewards those who make themselves necessary. Dependency inversion means designing your role so absence creates disruption, not through chaos or sabotage, but through architecture. Systems, relationships, and structures should lose efficiency without your involvement. This is not ego, it is insulation. If your removal changes nothing, your presence was never powerful. Most people fear becoming indispensable because they confuse it with pressure. In reality, replaceability is pressure. When you can be swapped without consequence, you must accept terms rather than shape them. Machiavelli warned that rulers who relied on mercenaries were weak because loyalty could be purchased elsewhere. The same logic applies to labor and influence. The strategic mind builds choke points, not to hoard control, but to establish relevance. You integrate yourself into decision-making, coordination, and synthesis rather than execution alone. Execution is visible and replaceable. Integration is invisible and rare. This requires resisting the urge to do everything yourself. Over-functioning makes you busy, not powerful. True leverage comes from being the point where information, resources, or decisions converge. Others may do the work, but direction passes through you. Once dependency inverts, conversations change. Requests become negotiations. Expectations soften. Autonomy increases. You gain the freedom to say no because no longer threatens your position. This is why the powerful protect their uniqueness more than their productivity. Machiavelli understood that authority is sustained by necessity. Those who control necessity control outcomes. The goal is not dominance over people, but indispensability within systems. When dependency points toward you, leverage becomes natural rather than forced. Rule number 12, the exit mentality. Most people enter situations hoping they work out. Jobs, partnerships, investments, alliances are chosen with optimism and emotional commitment, not strategic foresight. Machiavelli would consider this reckless. Power belongs to those who enter every structure knowing exactly how they will leave it. If you cannot exit, you are not participating freely. You are trapped. The exit mentality is the difference between involvement and control. When your survival depends on staying, you negotiate from weakness. You tolerate disrespect, stagnation, and imbalance because walking away feels impossible. This is how dependency hardens into submission. Machiavelli understood that freedom of movement is the foundation of authority. A ruler who cannot retreat cannot maneuver. The same applies to wealth and strategy. The ability to exit creates calm. Calm creates clarity. Clarity produces better decisions. Most people never design exits because exits force uncomfortable honesty. They reveal whether a position is truly beneficial or merely familiar. Staying becomes easier than evaluating. Over time, convenience replaces strategy and comfort replaces ambition. An exit mentality does not mean disloyalty or instability. It means foresight. You enter with intention, not desperation. You ensure alternatives exist. You maintain optionality so that no single structure owns your future. When options exist, power shifts toward you without confrontation. Observe how the powerful behave. They are calm in negotiations because they can leave. They do not beg for approval because they are not dependent. Their confidence is not emotional. It is structural. They know the terms under which they stay, and the moment those terms change, so do they. The masses are taught to commit fully and figure things out later. Machiavelli would reverse this. He would advise clarity before commitment. Understand incentives. Identify leverage. Map consequences. Only then enter. When you adopt the exit mentality, fear dissolves. You stop clinging to situations that drain you. You stop confusing endurance with strength. You realize that walking away is not failure when staying guarantees limitation. Those who can leave at any time command respect without demanding it. Those who cannot are managed, not consulted. These 12 rules are not motivational, they are structural. Money does not respond to hope. It responds to positioning, leverage, and discipline. Most people will reject these truths because comfort feels safer than sovereignty. But now you see the board clearly. Claim your sovereignty, control your position. And remember, those who master power never ask permission. In the next video, I will reveal why visibility makes most people poorer and how silence creates wealth faster than effort ever will. Disappear wisely, return dominant.